Good morning, Falcons. I'm Kara Lohman here with Logan Walton, and this is Falcon News.
Today is Monday, February 21st, 2022. We hope you had a great weekend. Falcons, here are today's top stories.
Despite all the high-tech tricks, political posturing, and pyrotechnics, the best part of the closing ceremony of the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics proved to be the athletes. Competing the past 2 weeks amidst rising international tensions, pandemic quarantines, and with a heavy-handed host, the participants injected a bit of fun this morning into the tightly scripted affair. Following the traditional flag-waving parade of nations into the reasonably full bird's nest, American flag bearer Alana Myers-Taylor and her fellow masked team members from around the globe led off some stream cavorting onto the giant stadium's floor to a loop of Ludwig van Beethoven's Ode to Joy over the protests of Chinese officials who repeatedly asked everyone to take their seats.
In Olympic news, on Friday, the day after her final routine, figure skater Kamila Valieva had already left the Olympics and arrived back in Moscow. But Russian media is still not finished discussing the tragedy that it witnessed on Thursday in Beijing. Although Russians won gold and silver medals in the Olympic women's figure skating competition, there has been no feeling of celebration.
After all of the medals were counted, Norway came out on top with a total of 37 medals, 16 of which were gold. Germany and China came in second and third. The United States came in fourth.
On this day, in 1965, in New York City, Malcolm X, an African-American nationalist and religious leader, was assassinated while addressing his Organization of Afro-American Unity at the Audubon Ballroom in Washington Heights. He was 39. To learn more, click on This Day in History in your CMS Student tab.
Today is calling for 1% chance of rain with a high of 60 and a low of 32. We had some birthdays over the weekend. Happy birthday to Destiny Schneider, Adam Crawford, and Owen Birch.
We hope you have a great day.
In school news, make sure you stop by and take a selfie downstairs in the front of the up staircase. Then, scan the QR code and send your selfie to have it added to the yearbook or Falcon News.
Spring break is fast approaching on March 3rd and 4th.
That's only 12 school days.
The CMS Business and Technology classes want to thank you all for joining in and celebrating CTE Month by participating in our CTE Spirit Week last week. Today, all CTE classes will get to meet a special guest, speaker, and founder of the Sunflower Festival in Buchanan, Virginia.
On March 2nd, CMS will have our first club day of the year. The last 2 hours of the day, you get a say in what you're doing. There's basketball, learning to juggle, crochet, board games, sitting back and watching a movie, and so much more to choose from.
Go to your CMS Student tab and hit March 2nd day to sign up.
Look at all of the choices offered and then choose your top 3 and sign up by the end of the day on Monday.
February is Black History Month, and we will be celebrating and learning from some legendary Black Americans.
Today we will be learning about Dwayne McDuffie, comic book author and publisher.
As a kid, Dwayne loved 2 things more than anything else: science and science fiction. He entered as many science fairs as possible and read all the comic books he could get his hands on. He always dreamed of one day bringing his passions together to become an astronaut. But in high school, something happened that led him down another path.
Just for fun, Dwayne shot a silly short film about Batman. Everyone loved it, and Dwayne started to think he could create stories for a living.
He graduated from the University of Michigan with a master's degree in physics, but in 1983, he moved to New York to attend film school.
One day, a friend told him about a job at Marvel Comics working on superhero trading cards. He quickly moved up the ranks at Marvel, writing for such characters as Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and She-Hulk while creating his own comic called Damage Control.
While working in the comic industry, Dwayne noticed that there weren't a lot of characters of color, and the ones he did see didn't seem authentic. He decided to help make a change.
In 1993, Dwayne and other Black comic creators formed Milestone Media. There, they could publish their own comics with a range of characters to represent their cultures. They told stories rooted in the issues of days like racism, violence, poverty, and mixed them with comic book favorites like shape-shifting aliens and giant mutants.
Milestone eventually became the most successful minority-owned comic publisher ever. Its comic Static Shock was a huge success and got its own animated television series. With Dwayne as a writer and producer, he was so good that he was invited to write for other animated shows such as Justice League Unlimited and Teen Titans.
Dwayne never forgot his roots, though, and returned to comics to write for the Justice League and Fantastic Four.
He was a true champion for more inclusive comic book landscape, and though it all, he entertained and enlightened audiences with fantasy and humor.
Dwayne saw a problem and didn't just sit back and complain about it. He fixed it. Let's all try to do a little more of that. If we see something wrong, let's either fix it or keep our thoughts to ourselves. If you aren't willing to do the work to fix the problem, you shouldn't complain about how someone else does it.
Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great day, Falcons.